Hello everyone and welcome back for another responsive tutorial video from Event Rental Systems. Okay, today we're on the third video and what we're going to talk about today is the cart, this area here. Now, you should have learned how to add pages and edit them and all that good stuff in the previous videos. If you haven't seen those yet, go ahead and take a look at those before proceeding with this because you'll need to learn that information first. Okay. So again, today we're going to work with our cart or the store aspect of our site. So I have our live site up here as usual. I have our control panel open here, and then I have the home page open here as an editable page. And again, when you see the store on your editable page, this is all you're going to see, this little guy right here. You won't actually see the full store unless you're on the live site. So if I scroll down, there she is. Okay. Going back to the control panel, we're in admin and then website responsive setup, and this is where we click these guys here to activate those pages as responsive and edit them by clicking on these little guys here. And of course this is all in the last tutorial, so again please take a look at that if you have not already. Okay, in that last tutorial we talked about this area down here and that we kind of left it alone and not to really mess with anything down here while you're creating your pages. So now that we've got our pages together and we have our store active on the site, and we do that right here, we're going to go ahead and look at some of these other settings here and down in this area and what they kind of do. So the first one, this guy here, this enables your cart. It turns on the store to be responsive, and what that means is if you have your store in your site like we do here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this category, Deluxe Bounce Houses, and you'll see that when we go into this category, it looks like, if I hop back into the control panel, it looks like this down here, okay? And it looks like our responsive pages on the outside and up here on the menu and all that good stuff. If you don't have this enabled right here, when I go into any of these categories or items, they won't look like this. They'll look like a static page. They'll use the template from a static site, and they won't look like this at all. So again, let's go ahead and go back here to our home page. Again, when you're in here, you want to make sure that you click Turn On to enable your cart if you have a responsive site. And I'm sorry, to enable it as a responsive cart, okay? It will always be enabled. It's just whether you want it to be responsive or static with a template. So again, turning it on here makes it a responsive looking, feeling, and acting cart. Okay, so let's take a look at some other stuff that we have here. You'll notice that the background is all white here, and this area right here is where we can add a picture there. Okay, and to do that, it's very, very simple. All we do is we click this little button here. Now, if you want to add a video, you can do so here, and we do have some specifics on that. The videos need to be less than 20 megabytes in size. So again, less than 20 megabytes in size, and they need to be a .mp4 video. That is what we need it to be in order for it to work. Other than that, it'll work just like an image. So let's go ahead and let's click this button here and see what we've got. All right, we're just going to use this guy here. Of course, we can add any image we want from our system just by clicking Choose File and uploading that image. So let's go ahead and use this guy. So I'm going to click that, and voila, you'll notice it here in the background. Now, these colors, you'll notice that we have this kind of tint color here selected. Well, we can add these colors and these tints to this image. So watch as I click here to go a little bit darker. See how that's changing down there, and dark again. This will add a blue tint, we can add red, so on and so forth. So when you get that the way that you like it, and you have the image in the background that you like, all you need to do is click Save here. Don't forget to do that. So just like when you're editing your pages, always save it or it's not going to show up on your site, okay? So let's hop back over here to our main site, our live site, and we're going to do a refresh. Voila! There it is. So it's just that simple to add an image into your cart. And this image is going to show up across the board. So if you go into any categories, you're going to see that image in the background there as well. Okay, so that's this area here. And of course, if we want to remove it, you just click Remove Background and you're right back to white so you can start over. Okay, let's look at category styles and background text and color, these guys here. Okay, this has to do with these guys right here entirely. So right now, we're set to actual image with a title and the text color is light. What that means is we've got our image here. So this is an image that was made in Photoshop or some other paint program. Deluxe Bounce Houses. That's the image that is used for this category, which means when the category was created, we clicked the little thumbnail area, and it looks similar to this right up here. So we click that little area to add an image to our icon, and this is the thumbnail that everyone's going to see in your shopping cart as the category header. Okay, so again, this is just the image here, and the title is right here. Okay, now we can change with this first drop down, category style. We can change what these look like, and you'll see we've got quite a few here. So maybe we don't want it to be a box, maybe we want it to be a circle image with a title. So when I click that, look at that, they changed to a circle. See, very simple. And again, we have the title showing. Maybe I want it to be a boxed image with no title up top, so it removes that text. And so what some people do is they'll use a graphic like this that has the category title, just like that, so they don't need the title up here. If you're going to use an image, maybe just like this guy here, without the text in it, then that's a good time to have those titles showing. Okay, so we can go back to boxed images with title. So again, we see we've got the box around it. That's what the boxed image is, and then the title up here on the top, and then the image. If we just want the image only with a title on top or without, that's what these guys are for. So actual image is just going to give us the image, and you'll notice that that title is gone because it's image only. Image with title. There you go. So you've got your image there with the title. So you may not want that white box around it, and you may just want your image. And again, if you don't have the text of what the category is on the image, you can use this one with title to show the title right there. And what the title is the name of the category. So when you create the category and you name it, that's what shows up right here. Okay, the next one is background text color. And really what this is this text right here. So we can change that to dark. And you'll notice that it changed colors there. And let's go ahead and change that tint a bit. So you can see that it's a darker color and it changed. And we go back to light again. And now you'll notice that it's that color there, and we didn't save, so that's why it did that. You'll notice that it's a different lighter text color. Remember, any of these changes you make, guys, got to click this save button here or it won't take effect. So that's really it there. Okay, so again, we can apply tints here to our background. We can change the image here, or maybe put in a moving a video in the background. We can change the way our categories look. This is probably the most important one that we get asked about all the time. How do I make this just a graphic with no text up top, or remove the box, or how do I make it a circle? All of that is done right here in this drop down. All right, there's one more now that we need to take a look at, and that's navigation style. And this one's pretty important because it's going to change how this area up here looks. All right, so let's go to our live site. And let's go ahead and do a refresh here. There we go, and that took those changes in our cart there to save. Okay, you'll notice we have the menu here. We have our logo, and then we've got some other information, phone number and email. This information is all pulled from the control panel when you go here to General Config and System Setup. When you put your phone number and your email and your logo in, if we go over to General Images, you'll see that we have the logo here and the website logo. These guys, this is where you can change that logo right here. Also, you'll have in the system setup area, you'll be able to change your logo or upload it there. Once you have that the way you like it, and that's what you want to use, you can just leave it alone. And the system will populate that logo on every page where it needs to be. You don't have to do anything else. So if you want to change it, all you do is click on the picture there. So that's going to open up this little editor here, and you can click the picture one more time, and again, just like anything else, you can load your own here. If you already had some loaded, you'd see them here like so. We've got all these other images in here. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. If you did change it, you need to hit save or submit. Okay, very quickly, what's the difference between the two? We see save and submit on a lot of different pages throughout the system. If you click save, it saves your changes. Like if I were to change this logo and upload a new one and I click save, it saves it in the system. It saves that new logo, but it leaves me right here on this page. If I hit submit, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to save all of the changes, except it's going to take me right back to the main menu. So anything you're doing where you have save or submit, saves the changes and lets you stay on that page to continue editing if you need to. Submit is basically like, hey, I'm finished, save the changes and take me back to the menu. So that's the difference there. Okay, let's go back into the responsive editor here and our navigation area. So once again, we've got our phone number, email, and logo all pulling from the system. And we also can have some social media links like Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff up here, and our YouTube links. Now, if you have the system set to show social media, like right now, okay, this whole area is controlled by this dropdown, navigation style or nav style. And you'll notice that we have it set to show social media, but it's not here. The reason for that is in the system setup, in the general config, we haven't put our Facebook link in or our YouTube channel link or any of that information. Once you put it in there, those icons will then display up here as soon as those areas are populated. So just like where it says your logo here, if we never uploaded a logo into the system, this would just be a white area, right? There wouldn't be anything there. Or if we didn't put our phone number in, nothing would show here. And as soon as we type our phone number in the general settings, it shows up here. Okay, social media is the same way. When you add your Facebook link, your YouTube channel, your Twitter feed, all that good stuff, it's going to show up here, your Twitter address. Thing to remember when you fill in those little areas, and it's very simple. It'll say it's a field like Facebook, and then there's a blank field. All you put in there is after the slash. So facebook.com/your company. You don't put the www.facebook.com/. Only what comes after the slash, okay? And it's the same for YouTube, for your channel, Facebook, after the slash only. That's what you put in. And then your links will start showing up here. Okay, back to nav style. So right now we have it set to navigation with social media, which again would be showing if we had the information populated in blue. Blue means that this text here is blue. Now you can see we've got a lot of different drop downs here. We can go nav with social media in black and white. So when I do that, it's the exact same layout as the last one, but you'll notice this changed to black. And our social media icons, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, those would be black instead of blue, the little logos. Centered logo navigation. This is, you got it. Gonna center our logo and it's gonna move this information here. And again, our social media information would stay over here to the right. Nav only, no logo. So if we do that, it removes our logo entirely and it really cleans up this top area to just the menu. And if we save that and we hop over here, you'll notice that we have logo and blue, and again we would have social media over here. If I refresh, since I saved nav only, compact, that's it, okay? So if you want your site really, really clean, and maybe you have your logo here in a banner, and you don't need it up here, and you want to shorten up this area, that's all you need to do, okay? So let's hop back over here again, and you can see that we've got other stuff here, and there are 3 of these that are important, okay? And that's centered logo nav with cover, blue, black, and white. Now, these are the same as all the rest of them. If I make a change here, you'll see that it rearranges stuff, okay? However, there's one big difference here, and that is with these 3, these centered guys here, and I'm not sure if the bottom one works or not, but I know it does with these 3, and it's also in these instructions right here. If you want to put a color up here and you don't want it to just be white, we can do that, okay? But for now, it's just a solid color, okay? It's not an image or a gradient, just a solid color, okay? And let's take a look at how we do that. So if we read these instructions, to upload a background image for your nav, go to admin website, general images, and you need to create a new graphic called navbar background. Okay, so let's look at what we do. The first thing to do, or look at how we do that. The first thing that we're going to do is we need to create that image, okay? And what that image is a very thin, wide image. So I'm going to hop over here to Photoshop, And I've already got one made here, and I just wanted to show you guys all this is you can start with just a square or any size new image, okay, and just fill it in with a solid color and then crop it if you need to, or just start out with these dimensions, okay. And here they are. This is what I use. So if I go to image and image size, my image is 15.3 inches wide by 0.3 inches high and 72 dpi. Of course, because we're working on the web, we don't need anything larger than that at all, especially being a solid color. We could take this down to like 16 probably and it'd be okay, or 8 even. Okay, so again, 15 inches wide or 15.3, around there is fine, and 0.3 inches tall. You could probably get away with 0.2. What this is a repeating image. So the system is going to take this little graphic here, and it's just going to stack it and stack it and stack it and stack it and stack it. And that's all it's going to do. It's going to repeat it over and over, and it's going to add it into the system. Okay, so let's hop back over there. Whoops. Yes, that didn't work. Okay, now let's take a look at how we do this. So again, we go to Admin, Website, General Images. So let's do that now. Admin, Website, General Images. And if you don't see this there already, typically it's there with no image. You can just create it by clicking Add New, and you just need to name it navbar space background. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now, let's go in there and let's add that picture. So I clicked on it, and I'm going to click on it once more, and I'm not sure if I have a navbar image already uploaded, and I don't, so let's go ahead and grab one here. Go to ERS clients. Let's see if I've got one here. Here we go. Okay. So we just loaded that file. So again, in Photoshop, it was about 15 wide, 15.6, somewhere around there, by 0.3 tall. And again, I'm going to click Submit because I'm all done. I don't need to stay here. And now we've got this little guy here, okay? So let's go back over to responsive. And I don't think, oh, you do see it. I was going to say I don't think you'll see it in here, but you do see it on your live site, but we do in fact see it here. So that's what it looks like, okay? We uploaded that little image, and it's just repeating it and stacking one on top of the other all the way up. And that's why right now we can't use a solid image like a graphic or a gradient, but we are working on that, so bear with us and we'll get you a way to do that down the line. But for now, again, that's all you need to do to upload a solid color in there, and then just make sure your logo has an alpha background, or maybe the same color around the text or the logo so it blends like this. If you're not sure of what an alpha background is, that means that this logo, let's take this one for instance. We've got these squares here, and then we've got some text, and there's not a box around it that is white behind it. Alpha means that anything behind the text and logo is basically cut out. There's nothing there. It's transparent and it's clear, and that's the alpha around the image. So we're seeing through that, and we're able to see the color in the background. So a logo with alpha is always a good way to go, and that way you just have your nice clean logo up top and you have the color showing through. If you're not sure how to do that, there's some great Google tutorials out there. Maybe you guys know someone who's a graphic artist or somebody who just knows a little bit about graphics. It's not terribly tough to do. Just open your image in Photoshop, delete the white space, and save the file with alpha as a targa, .tga, .png, some file types like that. All right, I digress. Okay, back to the system. Well, now that we've got our color in there and we've selected the nav information and the nav setup that we like, all we need to do is click Save here once again just to make sure. And then when we go back to our main site, we'll refresh it. And there it is. We've got the blue up there with our logo centered. And again, our social media info and nav would be over here if we had it filled in the system. So that's really all there is to it, guys, on this end of things. Very, very simple. So let's go through those steps again real quick. Make sure you enable the cart here. If you have a responsive site, turn it on. All you have to do is click the button. You don't need to save. Just click it to turn it on. And then your entire cart and store will be in this responsive layout throughout your entire site. To add an image or a video right here in the background of our store, we click these buttons here. to load those guys. And again, make sure you click the save button when you do it or it won't show up. We can change the colors or the tints that are overlaid on this image here by just clicking through these colors, okay? And then we can change the way that these graphics look, whether we want them as circles or boxes or just the images with alpha or just the images with text up here or circles with text up here, all in this drop down here. We can change the category header text here, light and dark, and then our complete navigation style, bear with me, which is this guy right here. We change that with this drop down. Okay, again, make sure you save to let that stuff take hold live onto your site. And that is it for our store, and I think that pretty much rounds it out for the responsive builder. Oh, one more thing I need to show you guys, something that we're working on. I'm going to go over here, and what I've done is I've clicked this button to edit our homepage, and that opened this guy here. You're going to notice some new stuff here coming over the next couple of days, which is really, really cool. So let's go over here and let's take a banner, maybe banner with button. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop this guy here. Okay, now standard banner, we can click here to edit text, we can click here to edit the hyperlink, we can click here to edit the image, just like we would any other banner. But what's really cool and what we're starting to make changes to, and hopefully this banner has it applied, I'm not sure if it does, I'm going to go over here and click on the move button. And you'll notice when I click that, we used to just get the little move button, right, to drag and drop. But you now see a cycle button. And what this does is when we click it, let's see. Nope, don't have one here. Oh, so you'll notice that the text changed color here when I click that. But what this is doing, and we're just working through the banner, so not all of them have the functionality just quite yet, but again, over the coming weeks, hopefully maybe just a week or so, we'll have this on all of these guys. And what it does is, if I were to type text in here like I did, Jumpy Jumps, and I want it centered, let's say, well, I can click the cycle button and it's going to cycle different layouts. So maybe the second time I click it, the text will be centered on the screen here, and the third time I click it, it'll move the text over here, and the fourth time I click it, it'll make the text, you know, twice as large maybe. We're adding a lot of different layouts that you can cycle through within the different banners and within the different modules or building blocks. So that's coming soon. It's already in some of these guys. I'm just not sure which ones yet. As you can see, we have a lot of them here, and our dev team is plowing through that amongst other things. So keep an eye out for that when you're making edits. It's really cool, it's new, and it makes things a lot easier, and it gives you a lot more flexibility with your layout. Okay, I think that's it for this session. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.